Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. Ladies and gentlemen, greetings, family. Of course, I'm tuning in. You see me without the glasses off today, but if you're looking for some opportunities, particular advertisement opportunities, then look no further at the link at the bottom to my email address. You can hit me up for advertisement opportunities. We are supporting and promoting your businesses here on this channel. You can also, if you would like to donate and subscribe to our Patreon, a link is at the bottom as well. So you have multiple ways in which you can advertise with the platform by emailing me when we go on through our live stream. You also have access to premium content, those that want to see premium content that you will not find here on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, as I am suspended probably by now. You guys can check out the Patreon at link at the bottom. But advertisement opportunities, definitely email me, gavin.grich1@gmail.com for rates. And for the Patreon, it is the same as the YouTube channel. It is channel gboot2786. All right, I'll holla. Peace.
Hi, I'm attorney Gavin M. Richard. Check out my latest book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. For approximately 2 years now, I have gone on a painstaking quest to investigate the rise and fall of an American icon, Bill Cosby. In the mid-1980s, there was not a star that was higher than Cosby. Advertisements with Coca-Cola, Jello, Kodak, along with the #1 television show for 5 straight years in a row. On Thursday nights, it was must-see TV on NBC. Cosby resurrected the genre of the traditional family sitcom that was once thought dead by television critics. He did this as a Black American with an all-Black cast and showed mainstream network executives in white America that it was possible to be successful without showing the worst in people. He also demonstrated the power that television had, as it can make younger people dream to be the best that they can be. However, like many celebrity stars, unfortunately, they all come crashing down, sometimes by their own fault, others not so much. In this book, I attempted to highlight certain things. We go in depth into both of his trials in 2017 and 2018, respectively. What if I told you that these criminal trials were politically motivated by an overzealous district attorney? Will you also be shocked to learn the attacks on Mr. Cosby did not start in 2014, but also in the 90s, not long after his attempted quest to purchase a major network? From where did all of these allegations of sexual misconduct come from? Were the accusers telling the truth? In the 2 years of research, with some help from others interested in learning the truth and facts about this case, we discussed both the legal reasons why his prosecution and trial were illegal, unwarranted, and also the possible personal motives as to why this may have occurred. Most importantly, we warn about the dangers of prejudice and why trial by social media, or mainstream media rather, should never be the norm. All this and more in The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in America. Available on Amazon this fall in Kindle and paperback format.
Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just turn on the camera since I'm not going to do a video. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Gavin Richard Presents here on channel gboot2786 on our Facebook page, Gavin Richard, as well as uh, our backup YouTube page, Gavin Richard. And of course, if you're watching via Twitter on Periscope, channel Gavin Rich 2786. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I hope you are blessed and doing safe. So, our topics tonight are as follows. We're going to be talking about more fallout over the Will Smith Chris Rock debacle. New details to the death of the teenager who fell from the free fall ride in Orlando, and also Biden administration proposes $5 trillion budget. So hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you like this channel, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what we're doing, oh, excuse me, hold on one second here. If you like what we're doing, if you like everything about this channel, I go live every Tuesday, every Thursday, every Sunday, unless there's emergency reasons. And doing our doing our show with you all. I like doing it. And I'm in the process. I'm trying to complete a lot of things. I'm going to be looking at doing a call in. I was looking at it today, how to set up. So that's going to come soon. Peace and love to you, Danielle. So, to pay some bills, I need you all to go to Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com, Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com. Try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. We also have our this is our Patreon. If you'd like to check out some exclusive content, I have put up uh, my stand up on Patreon actually. If you all hadn't, but you click at the link at the bottom. Uh, it's the same as the YouTube channel GB2786, as I said earlier. Uh, go ahead and do that. What's up, Darius? Yeah, I want to do call-ins for sure. I'm trying to set all of that up. Trying to see the least expensive way to do that. But sometimes if you want to be professional, you would want to have all of your stuff. You gotta pay some money. You gotta spend some bill. You gotta pay the bill, as we say. So I'm looking to do that. Uh, what else I wanted to do tonight? I want you all also to go to YouTube, check out and download Video Soul on iTunes and Apple, and also got to get on up our theme song, which I don't play for tonight. You guys know why? It's just the FU to YouTube. And the goal, of course, is to, as Brother TD Hip Hop says, is to not grow on YouTube, but to move from YouTube. I want to create a slew of Black-owned businesses. I want to create some businesses, a media mecca. Anthony Mackie supposedly just bought some property out here in New Orleans East where he's going to build the film studio. I had that idea. To do that. I've thought about it. Perfect place since it's already out. There's an abandoned building, Bell Tower, where Bell South Tower used to be, that's been sitting vacant for over 20-something years. I want to put a film studio in there. I think that would have been perfect. Or a television network. We got vacant properties here that could be built up out here in New Orleans East. I don't know where you all are. Some of you are in Atlanta. Some of you are on. What's up, Joni Marie? How you doing? Are in Atlanta or Chicago or New York, wherever you are. I'm sure there's a vacant land there, vacant buildings, and you always wondered about how much it would cost. Some of it, a guy where our Plaza Mall used to be at, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, Danielle. If you've been out to New Orleans, if you've ever been to the Plaza Mall, that was actually, at one point, I believe, the largest mall in the state. But I think that was surpassed by Cortana Mall, which is no longer there in Baton Rouge. I want to bring stuff but the guy who owns that, he's been sitting on it and he's been driving the price up crazy, wanting us a large price for it. But the thing is, people are not going to come out to an area where either they don't think, people are not going to invest in something if they don't think it's going to make money, and also if it's not safe. Let's just be real. Crime is a problem for people. But we got to change that. Change starts with us. Yeah, it was in the 90s when it's here. Unfortunately, it's not here again. What's up, Shauna? Just S. Sajana S. What's going on? If you want to support this channel, I ask you go to the CashApp, GooglePay, PayPal, Zelle, since YouTube has demonetized my channel. I'd ask if you please support. Yeah, Black Authority style. The Black That would be cool. No, I want to do that. To have people call in. So, what should we talk about first? So, I'm gonna go ahead. I want to start with. Let's start with this. So, there was some new details into the tragedy of that young teenager who fell to his death on that free fall ride out in Orlando. So, there's been some new information that has come out recently. That we'll explore right now. It says here, of course, you know, this was a 14-year-old by the name of Tyre Sampson who was killed while he was at Icon Park. He was visiting, I believe he's from St. Louis. He was visiting some friends. And Tyree's a football player. He was about 6'5", so he was big. He weighed over 340 pounds. So now what's coming out, according to this article from KTLA in Los Angeles, they're saying that Orlando FreeFall Manual shows team exceeded weight limit. The operation guidelines for Orlando Freefall, the drop tower ride at Icon Park, where a 14-year-old boy died last week, indicates the boy exceeded the ride's weight restrictions. The maximum weight for the ride as less than 200 is listed should be no more than 287 pounds. And Tyre Sampson's father said the boy weighed more than 300 pounds. So according to this report, it says Tyre weighed 340 pounds. And at his son, he says that his father says his son was not allowed to get on other rides. It says this one particular ride said, "We can take you. Come on, get on," Sampson said. No one else allowed him to get on the ride. So I'm wondering what happened between now and then that made them say, "Come on, get on this ride." It says Tyre dropped out of his seat from a 430-foot free fall amusement park ride that is taller than the Statue of Liberty along a busy street in the heart of Orlando's tourist district, not far from Disney World. So the ride had been open for less than 6 months and was inspected back in December. John Stein, the director of sales and marketing for Slingshot Group of companies, the owner and operator of the ride, said there are several safety checks in place before the ride is ready to launch. So this is the manual here. And I'm not obviously going to read all through it, but it says that the ride will not operate if those checks are not green lit. Again, everything was functioning properly. I'm quoting him now. Again, everything was functioning properly when the ride started. What we don't know is what happened after that, Stein told WFLA. We're just deeply saddened and shocked by what happened last night. Our hearts are broken our heart breaks for the family. Now, he should not have been allowed on that ride. So what happened? Now, I'm going to tell you, and of course, just a disclaimer, this does not create an attorney-client relationship. But I'm giving y'all because I love y'all, a little advice. However, from my knowledge, or really not advice, but from my knowledge, what could happen. And again, I'm not creating an attorney-client relationship. I just want to clarify that because people will think that there is. Yes, there is a wrongful death lawsuit that could be in place. The owner of the ride, Mr. Stein, as well as the park, the theme park, Icon Park, the people who own that, and it's the same thing with the Travis Scott situation. The owner of the theme park, I think even possibly it might be a stretch if it comes up necessarily that the city or the state rather, his company, had something to do with it, with maintaining the ride. Of course, it's inspected by the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. They may possibly could face suit, though it would be a stretch because you have to show not only that they had some type of what's called vicarious liability over the amusement park, which I don't know if they said they did, and they did everything according to the manual, that it was inspected and working properly. If it had been open for less than 6 months and it was inspected back in December. So I don't know how often they do inspections, but yes, some of these rides, I remember even as a kid, they had height restrictions. Then there are some with weight restrictions, so it all depends. What do y'all think? No, me neither, Darius. I've never been on a roller coaster. Never been my thing either. If I was on a roller coaster, I mean, I think the closest I've ever done anything like that may have been at a water park where we were on a log cabin slide. It was not a roller coaster, but there's a 50-foot drop. You're locked in, and I've done stuff like that. Uh, you can see if there's cameras, so there's going to be an investigation into it, no doubt. But what I was going to say and follow up to this is that look who the family has hired to represent them. Hold on a second. Look who the attorney is, guys. The family hires Ben Crump. Now, I don't want to play if see I want to play the audio, although we've already seen this before. But I don't want to play. I want to play it, but I don't want to play it because I'm just tired of getting these bullshit copyright strikes. But this was a fun trip this young boy was on. They say that the ride had been functioning properly. They said that there are safety checks. From looking at it, and I showed you the video. Well, part of the video, it looked like the lock-in for Mr. Sampson, young boy that fell. When I looked at it, the harness didn't look like it was properly strapped. To me, it looked like he was actually sitting off his shoulder. Now, it could have been just because he was big or the clothing that he had. I don't know, but it didn't look like that to me. So Ben Crump is handling the case, and Ben Crump practices out in Florida, so he does wrongful deaths all the time. And so Tyree, I'm sure they say Tyree actually was. What's going on, computer robots? So what was I saying? So Crump says a fun theme park visit with his football team should not have ended in tragedy. Crump said, Bob Pillard and I are both on behalf of both parents, Yarnell and Nakia, intend to get answers for Tyree's grieving family and request prayers as they shoulder this unthinkable loss. Now, his coach was even devastated. He was devastated by his death because remember, the football team traveled to go there. And according to his attorney, Bob Pillard, he actually said in a statement that he absolutely would have accepted if this ride would have said respectfully to him, "We're sorry, but you can't ride." He would be home right now getting ready for football practice, and that's their responsibility. Would the kid have accepted it? He would have no choice if he wasn't allowed to get on. But I mean, I don't know if he probably could have been upset about it. Kids, you want to ride, you see all your friends getting on a ride, you want to do something, and unfortunately you can't. You get envious. But I don't know.
We certainly do start with breaking news here in the 5 o'clock hour on Fox 35. You're looking at exclusive new video of the moment before.
So let me go ahead. I wonder if this is a new video. But let me play this. Hold on. No, I'm home early because I'm off from work at the courthouse right now. Do I think the ride attendant was intimidated by him and let him ride anyway? I don't think so. Who knows? I don't think he's big. I think what it is, my opinion, probably they just didn't read the manual. They ignored the weight requirement. For all I know, you'd have to wait, and I'm guessing we'd have to wait until the civil suit starts. There's going to obviously be depositions. They're going to be interrogatories served on to the companies that owns the theme park and the ride.
Or a 14-year-old fell from the Orlando FreeFall at Icon Park and died. This happened late last night. On the left of your screen, you can see video of the area roped off. This as deputies investigate. And then on the right is a live look at the area from above with many of the lights off this morning. And we do thank you for joining us this morning here on Good Day Orlando as we do continue to monitor this breaking news. I'm Danielle Knox. And it is a heartbreaking story. I'm Amy Caulfield in early this morning for Ryan. He has the day off. Fox 35's Nestor Motto is joining us live. He's there at Icon Park this morning. And Nestor, we're hearing from people who witnessed this, and I just can't imagine. Just horrific.
Yeah, what a sad story for the that came out to an amusement park, and of course now a 14-year-old is dead. We did talk to witnesses who said they saw something fall from the Orlando freefall. They actually thought it was part of the ride, but then they later figured out it was a person, and of course now Orange County deputies say it was a 14-year-old boy. Fire rescue, paramedics, and deputies, they all rushed over to Icon Park. After getting 911 calls, it was around 11:15 last night, just before 11:15. Witnesses told officials that they saw the boy fall out of the ride here at the popular attraction on International Drive. We know the 14-year-old was actually rushed to the hospital, and that is where he died from his injuries. We talked to people, as I mentioned, who saw the boy fall from the ride. They said that the parents of the boy were panicking as they watched what happened.
At first, like, we thought it was like a piece of the ride, like falling off or whatever the case was, until like we got a little closer and it was actually like a person laying on the ground. Everybody was just panicking, like we heard screaming.
Well, according to the park, the Orlando freefall stands at 430 feet, making it the world's tallest freestanding drop tower. Once it hits 400 feet, riders tilt forward before falling at 75 miles per hour. And you know, it just opened in December. Right now, deputies are trying to figure out exactly what caused this horrible accident. And of course, we're working to get more information. As soon as we get anything, we will bring it to you. We'll be here all morning long. I'm live in Orlando. Nestor Motto, Fox 35 News.
Okay, so I thought this was a new
and you can depend
video.
on Fox 35 to bring you continuing coverage. During commercial breaks, you can head to our website, fox35orlando.com, or the Fox 35 News.
So I thought this was a new video. But they said that the safety harness on the seat was still in a down and locked position when the ride stopped, according to the report, which lists 3 employees as witnesses. Well, here's the thing. If the harness was locked, as you say, and there wasn't a over-the-shoulder harness, so they have a belt where they're strapped in, but I thought it's locked down too, where you have to hold on from it because you have a shoulder, over-the-shoulder lock. It seems. I thought that's a harness of some kind. I've had those things before where you stay there and it locks in and locks your shoulders in place, or it's put across your chest like that. But They're trying to close the ride permanently too. That's another thing. Tyre's cousin Shay Johnson has collected signatures on to have a petition to have the ride closed permanently. You know, they closed the ride, but they didn't close the park, which I found interesting. If there's a death in the park, regardless if the ride was safe or not, if it wasn't that ride, why was that even allowed? They didn't shut the park down. It's tragic all the way. I'm sorry for a kid. Yeah, that's a horrible way to go. All right, but may he rest in peace to the brother, to that young brother. Really sad to hear about his passing. Can go out like that. All right, but I'm gonna monitor more of this, guys. And another thing I have, just 200 witnesses. They say the eyewitness say he was still locked in. Well, there's only one thing I have to say about that. When the drop occurs, I don't know any employees that got wings that can fly up there and follow them as they're falling down. Because obviously, if he slips out, he's not locked in properly. His belt wasn't on tight. Whatever it was, he wasn't locked in correctly. Because you just don't slip out like that. If the strap wasn't secured enough, well, yeah, of course it's about the money, Darius, no doubt. No doubt. So the next thing, but we're going to follow this. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. Please donate to the Cash App, GavinRichardEsq, GavinRichardEsq, or Google Pay, PayPal, the same email, Gavin.grich1@gmail.com, or Zelle at 504-289-4002. So I guess I'm going to move on with this one. Now, you all saw, and I'm going to keep talking about it. Of course, I'm getting fed up kind of hearing it myself now. But more fallout over the Will Smith, Chris Rock debacle. Now, we're going deep to the Wild Wild West. We're going straight to the Wild Wild West. Wow. Now, I know some of you may not like me talking about this. And I did a live stream yesterday. I went on talking about what happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock. And I defended Chris Rock. Necessarily, not a joke, but against Will Smith's actions. Although, really, in truthfulness, even the joke was a lame joke. But that's what Chris Rock gets paid to do. You're a presenter. They bring these comedians on, and they say things and poke fun at the ego of many of the celebrities. And Jada Pinkett Smith, while you keep saying it was fake, you think it was staged. Well, I'll tell you this, as Jason Black said last night, if it was staged, it was bad, but if it was real, it was even worse. See, I don't understand how the Academy, and I talked about this yesterday, they're opening an inquiry about what happened with the slap. But here's the thing, what do you need to inquire if you already saw it as well as the world? Everybody watched it in real time. Everybody saw it subsequently. The LAPD is investigating it. Now, I know there's some of my family, the B1 family, who think that, doesn't mean you respond with violence either, robots. If I do a joke and somebody doesn't like the joke, that gives them a right to get on. So that gives them a right to get on stage and punch me. If I did a joke, I did a joke in Lafayette. I'll just talk about this. Go to Patreon if you want to see my set. And I did a joke about, being a Saints fan. I basically talked about how Tom Brady came out of retirement, and I said, fuck, I was like, fuck Tom Brady, I hope his plane crashed. And everybody laughed at it. Now, do you think realistically that I saying that means I want to see people die in a plane crash. That I want to see Tom Brady and the pilot of the plane, as well as the people, the crew, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in general, die in a plane crash. It means the Saints will win the NFC South, have a better chance at it. But y'all really think I would want that? And not just that joke, and people bust out laughing. If Tom Brady was in the audience, he probably would laugh too, because he's the type of guy, just from what I find, he doesn't take stuff like that serious. If I did, I did a joke. I was ripping on some people in the audience. I had people talking during my set, and if you saw the video that I had on YouTube, I did on YouTube. I joked and clowned them. They were interrupting the set. You know, one of the rules they tell you in stand-up comedy, especially when you get ready to go to a comedy show, is don't interrupt the comedians while they're performing. Do not talk. If you have to hold conversation, go outside and hold conversation. Okay, the joke was lame. That still doesn't give license. See, I'm a lawyer too. You can't strike someone because they say something you don't like. And you know that beef mentality that we have. Oh, you said something about this, you did something like that, I'm gonna whoop your ass. A lot of brothers, just be real, because you want to defend. Jason Black was talking about this. Have been locked up because they think a man disrespected them, and locked up for life because of somebody said something to them. And Jada Pinkett is a celebrity herself. Yeah, I think Will was tired of being emasculated, but you know, the slap shouldn't have occurred on Chris Rock. The slap should have been at August Alsina. The slap should have been. The Oscars ratings aren't through the roof, Darius. That's incorrect. The Oscars ratings actually are still low. They still had the second lowest. So it didn't necessarily, it raised it up from what it was last year, but it is not high. Now, Bruce Valanche, who was the past head writer of Oscars, of course, you all know the joke. I'm not going to repeat what Chris Rock said, but the industry official said that Chris Rock went against the script. He did something, he ad-libbed, and sometimes that happens on a set. That happens in movies, that happens on live television. People will mess up. Remember when Jamie Foxx was George Jefferson and they did that live in front of a studio audience, and Jamie Foxx played George Jefferson and Woody Harrelson was Archie Bunker, and Jamie Foxx flubbed his lines. Everybody started laughing, and Jamie went on. He ad-libbed. But they're still in the hospital. Now, this is what I do not like, and this is where the people now who are coming for Will, I saw this, and I'll play the video, or the audio rather, but I won't share the video. I'll play the audio. Well, Will Smith's mom even called him out for it. She said, I never thought he would have acted like that. I've never seen him like that. I understand computer robots, but I mean, if I did a joke on drunk driving and somebody's in an audience, let's say got arrested for driving while intoxicated. Let's say they killed somebody. They got charged with vehicular homicide. They did their time, and I did a joke about it. and they got up and start cursing at me. And I mean, because they were upset I did that joke. Or better yet, they got so mad they decided to walk up stage and punch me. You think that would be right? Am I supposed to scream? And I don't believe, and I respect Brother Dwan B, but I disagree with him. I love Nicole and Harvey, but I disagree with them. I disagree with them strongly on this. And it's because I have the experience as being a comedian and also as an attorney. And of course, Will Smith's not the first person. And be fair, I have seen comedian Steve Brown. I think the dude had emotional issues, but I saw mental issues. This guy attacked Steve Brown on stage, swinging the microphone stand at him. Now, I don't know if you've seen this, but let me just play this right quick. Hold on. All right. So this happened. Hold on. Now nobody came to his aid. Now watch, he comes back.
Oh my God, Jesus.
Now they don't have no fucking, some type of fucking security there. Now all of this, look. Now they say the guy had some mental issues. Now look, it took him, this was over 20 seconds. He swung on Steve. So he took the microphone stand, he swung it, and it could have hit someone else. Now, okay, so, all right. So if Steve Brown made a joke, that justified what he did? Now, I think the guy had mental issues. He could be, and I can be a little more sympathetic with that. If he has, I think the gentleman had a mental problem. So I can understand that. I don't know. Now, the thing that happened with DC Young Fly, not so much. What happened with Eddie Griffin when some lesbian couple attacked him on stage, not so much. So this happened. This was about a year ago.
A comedy show in Naples ends with a fight when some people in the audience say comedian Eddie Griffin went too far. He's accused of cracking jokes about President Trump. Fox 4's Rachel Lloyd explains.
Naples, I'll see you this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
The television star and comedian Eddie Griffin's tour at Off the Hook Comedy Club was cut short. Some people tell Fox 4 Griffin's jokes about President Donald Trump caused the show to end with a not-so-funny punchline. Collier County deputies say they were called to the club just before midnight to calm an upset crowd. One attendee claims many were upset about Griffin's jokes aimed at President Donald Trump, and one person attempted to attack Griffin while he took selfies with fans.
Comedian might not say something that you always agree with, but it's all in good fun.
Fort Myers comedian John Lover says he avoids political jokes, especially when we're just 3 weeks away from what's already being considered a controversial election year.
We're probably more divisive as a country than we've ever been.
Lover says that doesn't mean just because Griffin is a celebrity in the spotlight, he doesn't have the right to say whatever he wants.
Comedians have been pushing buttons for as long as there's been improv comedy clubs. So I would hate that that's a slippery slope towards censorship that we don't want to go down.
Still keeping in mind that it's the comedian's job to read the audience and switch gears if they're not on board with a certain topic, but guests play a role in that too.
I just encourage people that are going out to comedy clubs, and I hope that they do, to just have an open mind.
Collier County deputy says no one pressed charges, and I did reach out to Eddie Griffin's team, but so far no one has responded. Rachel Lloyd, Fox 4 in your corner.
Comedians are just scared because they want to be able to say whatever they want to whomever they want in any location they want without having any pushbacks or consequences. Well, let me push back on that comment, Quat, because what is the line that you're talking about? See, with all due respect, brother, that type of thinking, I'm just saying this right now, that's what, like I say, and I'll say it again, y'all can disagree with me or not, you get locked up for shit like that. If it wasn't Will Smith that did that, if it was an ordinary dude that said that went up and slapped Chris Rock, I don't think you all would be saying the same thing. Y'all, it probably would have never even got to that because there would have been security there. But, security was not, and that is another thing. Where was security? Some people say, where's security? Will Smith was his security. He could have handled that in private. And you know what? I think would have been better. You know what would have been cool if I had actually seen him. If I had actually seen him crack a joke on Chris Rock or say, hey, Chris, at least I'm still married, when he got up on his bully pulpit at a microphone. Yeah, you defend your wife and your family. That is your right. But there are also different ways you can fight back. Now, Will's apologized. I think he was forced to apologize for what he did after, and even probably on reflection on that. And I think the reason Chris Rock has not pressed charges because they don't want to be bothered with it. Now, let me tell you from a legal standpoint, necessarily he doesn't have to press charges. It's the state. When you look at if anybody's been arrested, you notice that it will say the state of Louisiana or state of California, the people of California, the people of the state of New York versus the defendant versus whatever your name is. They don't necessarily need Will Smith, Chris Rock. He did the insult. So your response, so by your logic, Quatman, anybody that makes a joke at someone to respond that they don't like, is it to be violent? Your response is violence. Let me ask you, do you think Chris Rock, you say Will Smith had a right to defend his wife, and that's why he had a right to slap Chris Rock. Did Chris Rock have a right to hit him back? Let me ask you that. I mean, comedy, and Dwan said this, and it's true, it is dangerous. It's getting even more dangerous now. But don't take your ass to a comedy club if you're sensitive. If you want Prince, God rest the dead, Prince to perform, if you wanted Prince, let's say Prince was like, but who's a great musician now that I can think of? I can't. If it wasn't Prince, but who's a great musician I can think of? If you wanted Jay-Z, well, let's just say a rapper. Let's say Jay-Z. If you wanted Jay-Z at an event, not that he works events, but you'd have to pay millions of dollars for it to do your event. You asked him to bleep out the N-word, bleep this, bleep that, or something. You think he would do that? Now, let me talk about more of the fallout because I want to wrap this up. Yeah, I think it was a breaking point. It doesn't matter if the Oscars ain't a comedy club, bro. I've seen different celebrities get roasted for everything. It doesn't matter. You hired a comedian. You have comedians that work events. You have comedians that work different events, even if it's not in a comedy club. They may do a private party. If you hire Corey Holcomb she's a celebrity. He made a lame joke. Right, it was a slap. He didn't punch him. Now, Will Smith played Muhammad Ali. You would think he would know how to punch. He had the gym, he'd punch for that. But if I could tell you this much. If Will Smith had came up on me at the stage and slapped me, I would have been Joe. I would check his chin like Ali because I would be smoking Joe. Don't take out, bro. If you that sensitive, or I've seen, okay, it doesn't have to be Chris Rock. I've seen different people roast a celebrity who was married. I've seen, like I said, Ricky Gervais roasting people at the SAG Awards. So don't come with that. I've seen Billy Crystal say stuff. I saw Billy Crystal make a joke about Michael Clark Duncan, a racial joke, at the Oscars. It don't matter. I've seen y'all. I mean, and look, I don't watch the Oscars. Now, I take issue with some things. Now, this is something I took issue with. Let me play the audio. Jim Carrey is talking about Will Smith's actions. Let me play the audio. I don't want to play the video.
I was sickened. I was sickened by the standing ovation. I felt like Hollywood is just spineless, en masse. And it really felt like, oh, this is a really clear indication that we're not the cool club anymore.
There was some question today about if anyone else had walked from the audience and done that, they would have been escorted out by security or maybe even arrested. The police asked Chris if he wanted to file charges. They asked Chris, do you want to file charges? And Chris apparently said, no, he did not.
He doesn't want the hassle. I'd have announced this morning that I was suing Will for $200 million because that video is going to be there forever. It's going to be ubiquitous. You know, that insult is going to last a very long time. If you want to yell from the audience and disapprove or show a disapproval or say something on Twitter or whatever, you do not have the right to walk up on stage and smack somebody in the face because they said words.
Well, let me say this. Now, Jim Carrey, and this is true, Jim Carrey's always been a freaking nut to me. He has had issues before in the past. And brother Tariq Nasheed, and I see Tariq, he's the race baiter. And he talked about what Jim Carrey had said, Jim Carrey's response, and he responded, of course, in some tweets about how Jim Carrey himself, and this is true, he had an altercation with Jerry the King Lawler, and he calls Hollywood spineless for giving Will Smith a standing ovation, but he threw a glass bottle at another actor behind the scenes on a film set. Now, that is true. If he did, yes, there have been a lot of Hollywood actors that get into fights. The guy Rip Torn, who played Zed in Men in Black, he and Norman Mailer got into a real life fight that was in a film where he even bit the man. He bit the man, hit him with a hammer. There was an actual real fight. Steven Seagal, yeah, he got into it with John Leguizamo. Hell, Steven Seagal's been accused of sexual assault. Yeah, Jim Carrey, yeah, so Jerry the King Lawler was on the Broken Skull, Stone Cold's podcast, and talked about this.
I've heard you say that you didn't have
fair use.
A great experience filming Man on the Moon with Jim Carrey. Which is a story.
No, I don't want to play it because WWE actually, even though I was doing fair use, WWE even gave me he said, so my position is Will Smith wrong and Chris was right. Yeah, Will Smith was wrong. I don't necessarily say that Chris Rock's joke was right. I defend his right to make jokes, but I mean, that's what they pay him to do. Now, if he had called her out of her name, I mean, if he calls her out of her name, calling her a bitch or a hoe, I told you the story about my father when a man made a remark about my mother when they were at a party years before I was born and called my mom a great, he said something along the lines about her being a good, you know what, a good F. And my father stopped the party and actually turned the music off. He apologized. I'm sorry, but he told him, man, you owe me an apology. You owe me and my wife an apology, or else we're gonna step outside right now. And they tried to call my father out. I said, no, I don't want to hear that crap. He's always talks like that. He's like, no, I don't want to hear that. I'm a married man. And you insult my wife. You insult me. Now, in a situation like that, that is epitome of ultimate disrespect. A man slapping your wife's ass in front of you, yes. Absolutely. Lay him out. Don't hit him with a slap. Lay him the fuck out. Because now you're defending others. That's why we have laws. We're a society, you know, yes, there are laws of nature, but we're also a society that promotes law and order. Now, I think Jim Carrey is a hypocrite. I think Steven Seagal is a hypocrite. Although Steven Seagal hasn't said that. Yeah, Papa G. Boot was going to lay them hands. Yeah, I saw what Tiffany Haddish had to say, and I don't think she saw G.I. Jane. Because I never heard G.I. Jane being an insult to women. When I was coming up, when that movie came out, and I remember that was in 1997. And remember, Tiffany is about to do Girls Trip 2, so she's trying to stay on Jada's good side. She wants that, you know. Yeah, Chris Rock has a history of saying things, and I played that video he did with Ricky Gervais and Louis C.K. where he's saying nigger openly, and Jerry Seinfeld, clearly, he looked uncomfortable the whole time. But that's still okay. He's done that. You say a lot of black women support Will, yes, and a lot of black women are raising simps too. They'll be the ones crying and complaining. Look, I see this in court, brother Quat. They'll be crying and complaining when their sons get locked up for murdering someone because they stepped on their sneakers. Talking about my baby's this, my baby's that. Look, there are consequences for your action. Every action has a reaction. Now, my whole thing too, I don't like this jackass, and I'm just gonna call him out. If you saw in it, Judd Apatow, who got trolled, he got trolled for claiming that Will Smith could have killed Chris Rock. I thought that was some bullshit that he said that. And he actually deleted his tweet. Now, Judd Apatow is the one who went at Bill Cosby. He can't. Look, man, we ain't gonna go back and forth. I'm telling you what it is. If you're saying that the answer is to respond with violence, well, if you tried to do that on somebody, you would be thrown in jail. So just bear that in mind. You don't like something that somebody says? They got a lot of people who do that and get killed or get arrested. Now, Will could have gotten, Will likely is not going to go to jail. I don't see that happening. But this was the tweet he's talking about. He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind. And people went off. Judd is just fucking. I don't like this dude because of the Cosby thing, but I even hate him even more trying to make Will. I don't believe Will is a brute, is this angry black brute. By no means, I don't believe that. And he deleted that tweet. But once again, the internet is forever. So he said that. But you see, when I'm talking about my experiences, I'm talking from the perspective of being an attorney. And it's against the law to do it, period. You can try and justify it all you want. There's no defense to it. There's no legal defense to it. You can do something that you think is morally right, but still legally be wrong. And vice versa. You could do something legally wrong. You could do something legally, I'm sorry, I said legally right, morally wrong. Yeah, legally right and morally wrong. No, this back wouldn't have killed him. Could have given him a new accent. But hey, I mean, people are coming at Will like, wait, you didn't have that same anger and energy towards the dude that was banging your wife in your house, man. So and we're gonna just agree to disagree. Like I love Dwan. And this is not even about them. I love Dwan. I love Nicole. I love Harvey. I even love you, Quat Man. But I think you're wrong. You can have your opinion about it, but I'm just telling you, and I'm speaking to as a lawyer, just telling y'all, go out and try and hit somebody because they said something you didn't like. Because we can raise our kids, listen, by what you're saying, we raise our children and we tell our children, never ever put your hands on somebody. Doesn't matter what anyone says to you. And now you're what they say about you. If they talking about me or your dad, don't do that. But if you're saying to respond with violence, to respond with hitting someone, you can there are consequences to that. You could be, if you did that in school, you would be suspended. If you got in a fight and really hurt somebody, and look, Chris Rock's ticket sales for that tour he's doing with Kevin Hart, they are going through the roof. Honestly, I would like to see G.I. Jane 2 now at this point. I wonder what it'd be. What if there was a G.I. Jane 2? If the original G.I. Jane, you said he might have. Well, August put out a whole CD, a song. He didn't handle that. Be real, Quat Man. He didn't handle that shit. The CD that was put out, people would have been, the streets would have been talking. It could, I mean, because if Will even confronted Chris Rock behind the scenes, it would have came out. Well, I mean, they swing. That's what everybody has said. Well, that put him, August Alsina, I mean, he's probably still working on other stones. Yeah, but that's what everybody knows. Okay. He still work on music. Comedians, I mean, musicians still work on music. You may not hear, you don't have to hear from him now. He's still putting out songs. And he put that song out. So yeah, I don't even take the Oscars seriously. I really hope that he don't come back. I don't care for him. I mean, and guess what? Now, after this Oscar debacle, guess what? He's actually he probably could come back with a new album called Slaps and Craps. Slaps and Claps. Y'all hit that like and subscribe button, ladies and gentlemen. So Biden administration proposes our final topic, $5 trillion budget. Now, this is actually interesting because there are people who I'm looking at this. I want y'all to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. So this is from Politico. Why is this giving me a hard time? Hold on. The Men in Smack. Enemy of the Simp. How about that? Well, Jim Carrey's always lost his mind. Thank you, China. I'm okay. The Men in Smack. That is a good one. Oscars just don't understand. Enemy of the Simp. Could be Wild Wild West 2. I wish Will would have slapped the director of After Earth for fucking that up. So I'm trying to find, why is this? I'm sorry, guys. Every time I'm looking, hold on. Okay. So this is on Political. It says President Biden's mammoth budget request reflects the frustrations of the administration that can't yet move past the pandemic, didn't get its huge social spending package, and now must add Russia's invasion of Ukraine to its pile of national security challenges. So they seek to build on the achievements of Biden's first year, including the passage of the new infrastructure law, while chipping away at long-term priorities such as climate change and competition with China. Now, it says here, goes further, Congress will, as always, enact its own spending priorities, and not only will they likely look pretty different from Biden's request, but lawmakers also won't necessarily get it done before the next fiscal year dawns in October. You know, they have a fiscal year, they set up and project everything, in October. I think it's in intervals that they do this. They set everything aside. I don't know if it's quarterly or how exactly they break it down. But Biden's requested $813 billion for national defense on Monday, including $773 billion to the Pentagon, $30 billion more that approved by Congress for this year. Now, it says here, and this was interesting, the impact of Russia's invasion on Ukraine's last month, however, will loom large over how the new request is received in Congress. Despite the high type-line request, considering inflation, it is only 1.5%, a real increase from the fiscal 2022 budget, a fact that will draw the ire of many in Congress who have pushed for a 5 to 7% increase, citing Russian aggression and continued Chinese military modernization efforts. He's also looked to tax the uber rich. His plan would require the top 0.1% of earners, those that worth more than 100 million. Think about that. The average American is not worth 100 million, but they wanted to pay a total of 10% at least in taxes on a combination of their income. He wants $200 million. I'm going further because I'm a little pushed for time. $200 million extra for federal government's 2 antitrust agencies, which are coping with a crush of corporate mergers. He also wants to devote $18 billion to help the country withstand the worsening wildfires, floods, and storms fueled by rising temperatures. This proposal would devote $11 billion to help other nations transition to cleaner energy, nearly 4 times the amount that was pledged under the Obama administration. Another $17 billion will go to climate research, $9 billion for the Energy Department. I have to say this. They also wanted $127 billion to go to the Department of Health and Human Services to prepare for the next pandemic. $550 billion for infrastructure. You know, they were talking about building the new I-10s and so forth, getting them out and destroying those. He talked about that. Now, I got a question. Why are we trying to help why are we trying to help other countries? Y'all understand that? Remember, they signed a bill into law that was going to see money go to different nations. And yes, today he did sign that anti-lynching bill, which is mundane anyway. It's moot because lynching is still against the law. If you lynch somebody, you've committed an act of murder. I did hear he say he was talking about food shortages coming. I'm hearing even more about Hunter Biden. Yeah, about the laptop. So he said here in a tweet, my budget includes historic deficit reduction, historic investments in our security at home and abroad, and an unprecedented commitment to building an economy where everyone has a chance to succeed. What say you all in the room? Well, there's a national interest in it. They want to do something that will make sure it protects their investment. Computer robots. The United States, their businesses have invested in some of these nations. Remember what happened in the 1950s with Cuba. And when the Cuban president was expelled and Fidel Castro took over, you had multi-million-dollar companies that were invested in Cuba. Yeah, that he does. So what do y'all think of it? Are you sold on this budget with the president? Do you think it's going to help anything? So excuse me. Yeah, Shervin. Hey. Can I give you a call back right quick? All right. Thank you. So yeah, I saw. So yeah, what do y'all think of it?
Chris Rock. After the Oscars, he attended a low-key party with Woody Harrelson and Robert De Niro. Even after the brutal assault, he seemed in good spirits, posing with a giant blow-up of his own head. Wow! He has declined to press charges, but that doesn't mean Smith is off the hook.
Yeah, inflation is real. It's gonna get much worse. You think? I think it is, and especially now. You know, I've speculated like why gas prices are rising. Is it because the United States is trying to push us more to electric? I don't believe that, and the only reason why I don't believe it is because the oil and gas companies, we still have those here. I think pretty soon we're going to see more electric cars, yes, but you know the laws are going to have to be written where they have to claim what happens if there's liability, because somebody's gonna. You can't just have automatic cars without having someone in there. You know that's why they're different. If you notice, they have different stages. When Tesla makes these, there's different stages of it. Same thing with BMW. Same thing with Mercedes. Even though they come out with it, and you know there's a reason why it's so damn expensive. $100,000 for a Mercedes electric car. So I got to wrap this up, guys, now. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button if you love this channel, if you love what we're doing. But yeah, $5 trillion, that's a lot of money. No, they're not. But it'll happen. I think you'll see more of them eventually. Maybe not right now, but eventually it will. But, you know, I'm talking about self-driving cars too, because they're going to have liability issues with that. So if you like this channel, of course, go join our Patreon if you want to see unseen content. If you like to advertise, hit up my email. Of course, you can donate to our Cash App. Thank you, Brother Darius, for your donation earlier. Pretty soon, I'm going to have call-ins. Trust me, it's coming sooner than later. All right. If you can, go to our Facebook page at Commonwealth Cause for the book, The Commonwealth of Pennsylvania versus Bill Cosby, William H. Cosby Jr., The Destruction of Due Process in the United States. You can also go to Nawny'sCreoleBlends.com, get some seasoning, try it on chicken, meat, or fish. Nawny's goes great with every dish. And you're right, Frank Neely, we have to do for ourselves. So I will be back Thursday. And thank you, Kamel. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it. But I have more time. I'm finishing stuff up now, so I'm going to work on that. That's a promise. All right, guys. Let me get out of here. I got to run. But I'm a little over my time, so I'm losing my voice too. I'm sorry. I'm sounding like the coach from the Clippers. It's not Blake's fault. You know, can't do it. It's not Blake's fault. Doc Rivers. It's not Blake's fault. He's not the coach of the Clippers anymore. But, you know, Blake, it wasn't his fault. He could have done a good job. He should have had this. You know, it's not Chris Rock's fault. You know, it's not Will Smith's fault either. They just lost it. You know, they just lost the ball. You know, it's not his fault. It's not Chris' fault. It's not Blake's fault. That's Doc Rivers. It's not your fault. It's someone else's fault. It's always someone else's fault. Just remember that. All right, guys, good night. Remember, if you don't have a good night, it's not your fault. Good night, guys. It's not Blake's fault. Good night. All right. I'll see y'all Thursday with Sean. I think that's going to be good. Take care.